I see myself in her. The room fell silent. Reporters leaned forward. Even the veteran journalists who had covered tennis for decades knew they were hearing something unusual. Across the table sat Venus Williams, one of the most influential athletes in sports history. A 7-time Grand Slam champion, a pioneer, a woman who had changed tennis forever. And she was talking about Alex Eala, not as a rising player, not as a prospect, but as someone she genuinely believed in. When I was young, Venus continued, people told me I didn't belong. They said I was different. They said I played the wrong way. They said I wouldn't last. She smiled. I learned a long time ago that sometimes being different is your greatest strength. The reporters scribbled furiously. Venus rarely spoke at length about other players. That was part of why her words carried so much weight. Alex reminds me that courage doesn't always look loud, she said. Sometimes courage is showing up after disappointment. Sometimes courage is coming back after everyone thinks you've reached your limit. Sometimes courage is simply refusing to quit. The interview clip spread across social media within minutes. Fans around the world replayed the quote again and again. I see myself in her. For simple words, but coming from Venus Williams, they felt enormous. Back at the tournament hotel, Alex sat alone in her room. The City Open trophy rested on a table near the window. Messages flooded her phone. Friends, fans, players, journalists. Everyone wanted to talk about Venus. Everyone wanted details. Everyone wanted the story. But Alex wasn't thinking about headlines. She wasn't thinking about social media. She wasn't even thinking about the trophy. She was thinking about the practice court, the quiet conversation, the sound of tennis balls echoing through the evening air, the simple advice Venus had given her, the way a legend had treated her not as a fan, not as a student, but as an equal, a fellow competitor, a fellow professional. That meant more than any headline ever could. Hours later, another story emerged. A tournament staff member revealed that Venus had actually arrived at the facility nearly an hour before the practice began. She had watched from a distance, quietly, observing, studying, not judging, learning, watching how Alex worked, watching how she responded to mistakes, watching how she interacted with coaches and staff. Only after seeing that did she decide to walk onto the court. That revelation changed everything. Because it meant the practice session had not been random. It had been intentional. Venus had chosen Alex, not because of rankings, not because of popularity, because of character, because of work ethic, because she saw something worth investing in. The story grew larger with every passing hour. Television networks covered it. Podcasts discussed it. Former players weighed in. Many shared similar reactions. This wasn't really about tennis. It was about legacy, the passing of knowledge from one generation to the next, the recognition of potential before the rest of the world fully sees it. 3 days later, Alex received a handwritten note. No cameras, no publicity, no announcement, just a simple envelope delivered to her hotel. Inside was a short message. Keep learning, keep growing, keep believing. The game will reward your patience. See you down the road. Venus. Alex read the note 3 times, then folded it carefully, then placed it inside her journal. Years later, she would still keep it there, not because it came from a champion, because it came from someone who understood, someone who knew what it felt like to carry expectations, to face criticism, to walk onto courts where people expected you to fail, someone who had survived it all. That autumn, Alex's season continued. More tournaments. More travel, more victories, more setbacks, the usual rhythm of professional tennis. But something had changed. Whenever matches became difficult, whenever pressure mounted, whenever doubt crept into her mind, she remembered a quiet practice court in Washington. She remembered a legend carrying her own racket bag. She remembered the words, "You're going to win many more titles." Years later, when Alex was asked about the most important lesson she had learned from another player, many expected her to mention a coach, a rival, a champion. Instead, she smiled. Then she told a story. Not about a final, not about a trophy, not about rankings, about a practice session, about generosity, about someone taking an hour out of their day to help another player improve. Venus taught me something bigger than tennis, Alex said. She taught me that greatness isn't measured by what you win. It's measured by what you give away. And perhaps that was the real reason the story resonated around the world. Because everyone understands competition. Everyone understands winning. But not everyone understands kindness. The image people remembered wasn't a trophy ceremony. It wasn't a championship point. It wasn't a ranking update. It was a legend walking onto an empty practice court carrying a racket bag over her shoulder. No cameras. No audience. No publicity. Just a simple act of belief. Sometimes the moments that change careers happen in front of millions. Sometimes they happen when nobody is watching. And sometimes all it takes is one person showing up and saying, "Mind if I join you?" I did not listen. I kept playing, kept winning, kept proving them wrong. Alex does the same. I wanted her to know that someone sees her. Someone believes in her. Someone is in her corner. That is why I showed up. That is why I will keep showing up. The interview went viral. Millions watched. Millions cried. Venus Williams, the legend who had done so much for tennis, was now doing something for the next generation. Not with a speech. Not with a check. With her time. With her presence. With her heart. It was a reminder that the greatest gift you can give someone is not money, not fame. It is belief. And Venus believed in Eala. The world believed, too. Eala called Venus after the interview. She was crying. She said, "I do not know how to thank you. I do not know how to repay you. You have given me so much just by showing up. Just by believing. Just by being you." Venus said, "You do not need to thank me. You do not need to repay me. Just keep playing. Keep winning. Keep inspiring. And when you are older, when you are the legend, find someone young. Someone who needs belief. Someone who needs you. Show up for them. That is how you thank me. That is how you repay me. That is how we keep this sport beautiful." The mentorship continued. Venus and Eala stayed in touch. Texted, called, met when they could. Venus gave Eala advice about everything. Tennis, business, life. She taught her how to handle the media, how to manage her brand, how to protect her peace. She taught her that being a champion is not just about winning matches. It is about being a role model, about using your platform for good, about lifting others. Eala absorbed every lesson, every word, every moment with Venus was a masterclass, not just in tennis, in life. Eala's game improved. She won 2 more Grand Slams that year. She became world #1. She broke records, made history, and in every interview, she mentioned Venus. Venus Williams changed my life. Not with a trophy, with her time, with her belief. She showed me what greatness really means. It means showing up for others. It means paying it forward. It means using your success to lift someone else. I will spend the rest of my career trying to honor her, trying to be like her, trying to make her proud. Venus watched from afar, proud, emotional. She told a friend, "Alex is the real deal. She is not just a great player. She is a great person. That is rare. That is special. I am honored to know her. I am honored to help her. I am honored to watch her become the legend she was meant to be." The friend asked Venus if she would do the same for other young players. Venus said, "If they ask, if they need, if I can, I will. Not because I have to, because I want to. Because tennis gave me everything, and I want to give back. That is the cycle. That is the legacy. That is the sport." The story of Venus and Eala became legendary. It was told to young players around the world. Coaches used it as an example. Parents used it as inspiration. Venus Williams, the icon, secretly mentoring Alex Eala, the rising star. It was proof that greatness is not jealous. Greatness is generous. Greatness is generous. Greatness pays it forward, and Venus Williams was the greatest of them all. Years later, at Venus Williams' retirement ceremony, Alex Eala was asked to speak. The stadium was packed. Legends from every era were there. The crowd fell silent as Eala walked to the microphone. She was crying before she even spoke. She looked at Venus. Venus was crying too. Eala said, I have won many trophies. I have broken many records. But the greatest moment of my career was not a victory. It was a practice session in Washington, D.C., on a random Tuesday when Venus Williams showed up with her racket, with her time, with her heart. She taught me that greatness is not about what you achieve. It is about what you give. And Venus gave me everything. The crowd cheered. Eala continued. Venus changed tennis, fought for equal pay, paved the way for every woman on this tour. But she also changed me personally, directly. She saw something in me that I did not see in myself, and she helped me find it. She showed me that champions are not born. They are built by mentors, by believers, by people who show up. Venus showed up for me, and I will spend the rest of my life trying to show up for others. That is her legacy, not the trophies, the love, the generosity, the belief. Venus stood up, walked to the microphone. She hugged Eala. They held each other for a long time. The crowd cheered. The cameras captured everything. Venus then spoke. Alex Eala is the reason I still believe in tennis. She is the reason I still believe in the future. She is the reason I still believe in hope. She took what I gave her and multiplied it. She became more than a champion. She became a leader, a mentor, a light. I am so proud of her. I am so grateful for her, and I love her like a sister, like a daughter, like a friend. The ceremony ended. The crowd filed out, but Venus and Eala stayed. They sat on the court together in silence, watching the stadium empty. Venus said, "You're going to do great things, not just in tennis, in life. I believe in you. I always have. I always will." Eala said, "I would not be here without you. I would not be who I am without you. Thank you for showing up, for believing, for loving me." Venus smiled. She put her arm around Eala. They sat there, two champions, one court, a bond that would never break. Venus Williams' shocking gesture for Alex Eala became the stuff of legend. It was talked about for years, referenced in speeches, written about in books. It was the ultimate example of paying it forward, of using your success to lift others, of understanding that the greatest legacy is not what you win, it is who you help. Venus helped Alex. Alex went on to help others, a new generation of young players from the Philippines, from around the world. She showed up for them, just like Venus showed up for her. Eala started a mentorship program inspired by Venus. She called it the Venus Project. Every year, she chose 5 young players from underprivileged backgrounds, from countries without tennis infrastructure. She mentored them, trained with them, paid for their travel, their equipment, their coaching. She showed up for them, just like Venus showed up for her. The program produced 3 Grand Slam champions, dozens of top players, hundreds of success stories. All because Venus Williams decided to show up for Alexa on a random Tuesday in Washington, D.C. Venus attended the 10th anniversary of the Venus Project. She sat in the front row watching the young players, watching Eala speak. Eala said, "This program is not my idea. It is Venus's idea. She planted a seed. I just watered it. She showed me that champions are not defined by their trophies. They are defined by their impact. I hope I am making her proud. I hope I am living up to her example. I hope I am showing up for others the way she showed up for me." Venus stood up. The crowd applauded. Eala and Venus hugged. The young players watched, inspired, hopeful, ready to pay it forward themselves. The world never forgot what Venus Williams did for Alexa. It was a reminder that behind every champion, there is someone who believed, someone who showed up, someone who gave without expecting anything in return. Venus was that someone for Alex, and Alex became that someone for others. The cycle continued. The legacy grew. Tennis became better, kinder, more generous. All because of one practice session, 1 hour, one legend who decided to show up and change everything.